The most beautiful girl in school just had a big fight with me. From that day on, I seemed to have disappeared from his life. Classmates and teachers had no idea where I had gone. It wasn't until he went to my house looking for me that he found out my family had also moved. In the end, there was really no way out. He begged his father in tears to use their connections to check my ID information at the police station. The information he received was indeed no such person. At that time, Lin Qingxue could only think of one thing, and that was that her beloved boy had already died. For 3 years, he had firmly believed this thought. I returned after successfully completing the National Scientific Research Project. I learned that Lin Qingxue was a sophomore at Jingdu University. To make up for the regrets of high school, even though I could have been a professor at Tsinghua, I chose to join Jingdu University. I became a freshman at Jingdu University, the new student reception of the Finance and Management Department at Jingdu University. Lin Qingxue, dressed in a white long dress, sat peacefully in a chair at the new student reception. He just sat there quietly. This attracted quite a few passing new students' attention, and captivated gazes filled with admiration. Li Qian, standing next to Lin Qingxue. She smiled at him. Qingxue, you truly deserve to be the recognized most beautiful girl at Jingdu University. Just look at those new younger male schoolmates. They seem unable to take their eyes off you. I can guarantee that once the new student orientation is over, who knows how many younger male schoolmates will be trying to find out about you at school. Lin Qingxue maintained a calm expression as she listened to them. Anyway, I'm not interested in dating or anything like that. Compared to dating these people, spending time with good friends like you all is much better, like going to Weiming Lake to enjoy the evening breeze, going to campus, or eating late-night snacks at the food street outside Beijing, isn't any more romantic than love. However, after she said that, the sparkle in Lin Qingxue's eyes suddenly dimmed a little. Let's go to Weiming Lake to enjoy the breeze together. Let's go to the snack street outside the North Campus for some barbecue. And then we can go to the school library to read together. Let's skip class to watch him play in the basketball game organized by the school. These words he had said to that boy back then. Unfortunately, in this campus now, among the many students coming and going, although there are some with eyes like his, noses like his, and even some with a speaking tone like his, unfortunately, those people are not him after all, as expected from a roommate who lived together for a year. Seeing Lin Qingxue's dim eyes, Li Qian immediately became anxious for Qingxue. You aren't still thinking about your boyfriend who died 3 years ago, are you? Regarding Lin Qingxue's matter, their dorm roommates probably know about it. The innocent crush from high school, whether it was a young love or a crush. It's youth, everyone has gone through something similar. But even if it's been 3 years since the first mourning period, these 3 years have already passed. Why not try to make a fresh start? Lin Qingxue understands her roommate's little thoughts. She smiled freely, her face full of ease. In fact, there's nothing she's particularly attached to. It's just that right now, I still can't bring myself to like anyone else. Lin Qingxue pulled on Li Qian's hand again, urging her to hurry up. Don't just stand there foolishly. At this time, the freshmen must be entering the school. Why don't you go to the school entrance to welcome them? Maybe this year, we might get a few handsome guys who catch your eye. That makes sense. Li Qian's eyes lit up instantly. She quickly left the reception area. She went to the school entrance to welcome the new students. Lin Qingxue let out a sigh of relief. The joys of youth are not something that can be easily forgotten. Once, with just a gentle turn, he took away my entire youth. Her slightly red eyes blinked rapidly a few times. He seemed to return to that math class again, dozing off in the language class, passing notes during self-study class, handwriting lyrics during the break. You could have a good dream in just 10 minutes. The past times. Soon, a gust of wind blew by. It tousled the girl's long hair at her temples. Lin Qingxue slightly raised her head. A hint of inexplicable sadness appeared on her face. If only you were here at this moment. At the entrance of Jingdu University, I held my suitcase. I glanced at the 4 gilded characters in front of me. In my heart, which had long been calm and uneventful, it stirred up an unexpected ripple. My sudden departure back then. He must be very sad, right? I often took a deep breath. I slowly walked inward. After just a few steps, Li Qian, who was carrying the welcome volunteer handbook, he quickly walked up to you. This younger male schoolmate. Which department are you in? I'm a volunteer for the new student orientation. Let me take you to check in. You didn't refuse the finance and management department either. It just so happens that I'm not very familiar with the way either. Then I'll trouble you, senior. No trouble at all, Li Qian laughed. What a coincidence. I'm also in the finance and management department. Speaking of which, you're technically my junior. The younger male schoolmate reached out to take your suitcase. Give me the suitcase. I'll take you over to check in now. You're not leaving any trace. He quietly pulled the suitcase back a bit. No need, the stuff in the suitcase is quite heavy. I can manage it myself. Alright, just make sure to follow me closely. Li Qian was also not shy. After a carefree smile, she took you to mock the new student orientation. She walked towards the reception area. After just a couple of steps, you looked up and asked, "Senior. Since you're our senior in the finance and management department, then I would like to ask, do you know Senior Lin Qingxue?" "Of course I do." Li Qian immediately nodded, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Are you a well-informed younger schoolmate? I just got to school, and I've already found out who the most beautiful girl in our department is. You're also interested in our school's beauty, Lin." You smiled. "I went to the same high school as Senior Lin. It's also because of her that I chose to come to Jingdu University's finance and management department." Li Qian was somewhat surprised. She quickly gave me a look that said she understood. "You came here specifically because of your reputation. The young people these days are impressive. But you two are from the same high school. You must have heard about Senior Lin too." I was a little stunned. Lin Qingxue was always a good student in high school. She was always a good student. Besides being called the most beautiful girl and a top student, I really don't know much else about Lin Qingxue. What else is there about her? Does always ranking second in class count? Because I am the top of my grade. At this moment, my phone in my pocket suddenly rang. "Sorry, I need to take this call." I glanced apologetically at Li Qian. I picked up the phone and answered the call. "Professor Liu, this is Chu Yang." This Professor Liu is a faculty member at Jingdu University. Although he is not very old, he has already become one of the authorities in the field of microelectronics and solid-state electronics in the country. Currently, he is the dean in charge of scientific research at the School of Electronic Information at Jingdu University. In the 3 years at the research base, you have built a strong reputation with your professional knowledge among the leading authorities in the country, and many professors in various specialized fields. This has also accumulated quite a network for you. On the phone, a middle-aged man's cheerful voice came through. "Chief Engineer Chu, I truly apologize. The original plan was for me to guide the newcomers at the school gate. However, there was a temporary issue with a project above. Do you want me to help? I'm really sorry that I'm not in Kyoto right now." I shook my head and smiled. "The projects above are nothing to worry about for me. They are already preparing the enrollment procedures now." Professor Liu continued to ask, but I still didn't understand. "Given your research capabilities, you could easily replace a doctoral student. Why are you suddenly thinking about going back to university?" "Apart from the chief engineer, I still say the same thing. As long as you figure it out someday, I can report to the higher-ups immediately to make you an honorary professor at Jingdu University. If you want to teach a course, we can even create a special program for you to have you teach. I assure you, the benefits we offer will definitely be better than those at Hucking University next door." Back when I was at the research base, I was the highly sought-after person in the eyes of the deans of various colleges. But at that time, you were fully focused on breakthroughs in lithography machines. Those deans didn't have any intentions in this regard. The research has now concluded. Based on your achievements, there's also a position of an academician at Huaka University. An academician at such a young age. No matter where it's placed, it's a talent that everyone covets. Since you've come to Jingda, then naturally we can't let you leave again. I replied with a smile. "Let's talk about this later. Let me have some time to rest first." "Alright, I'm preparing to check in and you're busy too. I won't disturb you then." Okay, Professor Liu nodded repeatedly. "Then go ahead and check in first. Although I'm not at school for the time being, if you have any problems in life, just give me a call directly." "Okay, I will definitely visit you once you return to Beijing." You nodded with a faint smile, then hung up the phone. At this point, they had arrived at the new student check-in location. Li Qian looked around and noticed Lin Qingxue, who was originally sitting at the reception, had suddenly disappeared. She hurriedly walked up to several other people and asked, "Where is Qingxue? I brought him a piece of snow from his hometown." Someone replied that Lin was joking that the weather was too hot. "Staying here for a day is quite tiring. So they treated us to milk tea." This time, they went to get the milk tea. Li Qian felt a bit disappointed. Turning to look at you, she felt a bit shy. "Younger male schoolmate. Senior has something urgent. For now, you won't be able to see him." You smiled gently and nodded. "No worries, there will be plenty of time in the future. There will always be opportunities to meet." "Which class are you in?" "I'm in the first year of the Finance and Management Department." Upon hearing this, Li Qian immediately laughed. "So it's all good. Both Qingxue and I are in your first year. We are the assistant tutors for the first class in Finance and Management. Tomorrow, when the freshmen meet in class, we will be able to meet again. You go ahead and check in first." I nodded slightly. I walked up to the small check-in desk for the Finance and Management College. I waited for someone to verify the information on the admission notice. They found my name in the list of new students. After signing, I received the dormitory keys and student card. A senior walked up to me. "I've picked up my things. Let me take you to the dorm first. First, let's go to the dorm to drop off your luggage. Then we can go to the dorm office to get bedding and set up your bed. There are also some daily necessities." I nodded slightly. Then I followed the sophomore senior. He walked toward the direction of the boys' dorm in our department. Not long after I walked, Lin Qingxue brought someone over to the place for new student registration in the Finance and Management College. Li Qian immediately rushed in front of Lin Qingxue. "You really have the worst timing. Let me tell you. This year, a super handsome guy came to our department. A super charismatic young man. And he said he went to the same high school as you. I think this younger schoolmate of ours is definitely here for you." Lin Qingxue laughed helplessly and said, "Stop it. I have no intention of dating right now." Li Qian replied, "I never said you had to date. However, he is your direct junior from your hometown. After all, you have to take good care of him, no matter what. Anyway, he is just average. You'll see him at the freshman meeting tomorrow." Then Li Qian asked how he is called Chu Yang. "Do you have any impression of this younger schoolmate?" As soon as Li Qian said this, it made Lin Qingxue's heart skip a beat. Even her voice started to tremble gradually. "About what his name is?" "His name is Chu Yang. Is there a problem?" Li Qian asked in confusion. No, it's nothing." Lin Qingxue shook her head with a hint of disappointment. "Which direction did he just go?" Li Qian pointed in the direction I left. When Lin Qingxue looked over, the back of me and a sophomore senior had just turned into a small alley. But in that instant, Lin Shui seemed to have seen the back of that youthful figure. However, she quickly shook her head afterward. "It's impossible. Maybe it was just Chongming. The summer vacation 3 years ago, I had a fight with Chu Yang. I said I would never talk to him again. But after calming down for 2 days, I sent a message to Chu Yang again. But from that day on, I seemed to have disappeared from his life. Classmates and teachers had no idea where I went. Not only had my family moved, even checking my ID information at the police station had been cleared. At that time, a thought flashed through Lin Qingxue's mind. That was that I was dead. For 3 years, he held on to this belief. So in his eyes, that figure was definitely not me. At most, it was just a name and a similar figure. Finally, Lin Qingxue trembled a bit. She retracted her eager steps. The senior left after escorting me to the dormitory building. I followed the markings on the dorm key to find my room. Pushed open the dormitory door for college life. Soon, inside the dormitory, the remaining 2 people also arrived at the dorm. The 4 of us, lined up according to our birth dates. Zhu Pengfei is the oldest. Zhang Mingyang is the second, and I am the third. Wang Lei is the fourth. Zhang Mingyang laughed. "It's not easy for everyone to gather from all over. My buddy is from Kyoto. I am also quite familiar with this area. I'll treat everyone tonight. How about we all have a meal together?" Zhu Pengfei quickly said, "It's fine as long as everyone is okay with me treating. However, since you know the area better, you can decide where to go." "Huh," Wang Lei and I nodded and laughed. At that moment, Wang Lei's phone pinged. He quickly looked down at his phone. Then, he raised his phone towards us few. "Hey guys, have you joined the class group?" The counselor created a class group. A message was sent in the group saying, "This year, our class assistant counselor is Lin Qingxue. You all know who Lin Qingxue is, right?" Zhu Pengfei was the first to react. "No way. Is that true? Lin Qingxue is our assistant counselor." I raised my eyebrows slightly. I also found out from the information I had someone look up for me. Lin Qingxue is quite popular at Jingdu University. But I didn't expect her to be this popular. After reading the messages in the group, Zhang Mingyang sighed, "What a pity. As the biggest joke of our Jingdu University, our senior sister, Lin, has always been obsessed with her ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago. Can't forget him. Otherwise, just because he is our assistant counselor, my buddy has to try to pursue her." I felt a stir in my heart. I looked up and asked about her ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago. "Did Lin Qingxue have a boyfriend 3 years ago?" Zhang Mingyang nodded repeatedly. With a gossipy expression, he said, "From what I know through rumors, Lin Qingxue's ex-boyfriend was her classmate in high school, but he later died in an accident." After finishing, Zhang Mingyang sighed again, "What a pity. It would be fine if he had just broken up with his ex-boyfriend. This person is dead. I guess this Lin Qingxue will find it hard in her lifetime. She will have a hard time forgetting her high school ex-boyfriend." My deskmate from freshman year. I was momentarily stunned. I remember Lin Qingxue. Wasn't I her deskmate in freshman year? When did I become her ex-boyfriend? I admit it. Back then, I did have some thoughts in that direction. But this is not. Before I could take any action, I was taken away for research. What has happened during my 3-year absence? I have to go and ask for clarification. I suddenly stood up from my chair, instantly attracted the attention of the other three in the dorm. Old third, what are you suddenly standing up for? I took a deep breath. I spoke up, remembering. I suddenly realized I still haven't bought some daily necessities. So, I plan to go to the supermarket near the school to buy some things. I can't exactly say that I am the one they mentioned as Lin Qingshue's so-called boyfriend who has died for 3 years. Zhu Pengfei started to laugh. It just so happens that the supplies from the school are also not enough. I also need to buy some things. Let's go together. Wang Lei and Zhang Mingyang also got up. They said in unison, let's go together. It just so happens that I also need to buy something. Suddenly, I have 3 little followers. After a brief pause at the corner of the street, I smiled casually and said, all right. Then let's go together. 3 years have passed. I don't care about the time of day anymore. The reporting time was originally in the afternoon. The 4 of us went to the supermarket near the school. Inside the mall, we stocked up on all the daily necessities for the dorm. After returning to school, it was already around 7 o'clock. After putting down the things and waiting for all 4 of us to wash up, Zhang Mingyang looked at us and said, it's just right for us guys. The time is about right now. Let's go around the school area. Let's grab a late-night snack together. A few of us will be fine. Alright, let me just dry my hair first. Zhang Mingyang is a good guy. Don't say I didn't warn you. Let's not even mention anything else about our university. The beautiful girls here are so much better than those at Hucking next door. Dress a bit handsomely. You might get noticed by some pretty girl. Zhu Pengfei's eyes lit up suddenly. Wow. If only you had told me earlier, I would have changed my outfit. Wang Lei's expression shifted slightly. He shouted at Zhang Mingyang, second. Well, I'm not really good at doing hair. Later, can you help me style my hair too? The corners of my mouth twitched. A trace of something gradually appeared in my eyes. Maybe this smile is the essence of youth. I raised my phone screen, which had darkened. I took a look at myself. Still as handsome as ever. It's not a big deal. I don't even need to dress up. He's not that shallow of a person. Girls' dormitory. Li Qian walked over to Lin Qingxue with a smile. Qingxue, what are we eating tonight? Lin Qingxue said we should just go to the cafeteria. I think the new dish at the first floor cafeteria is good. Braised pork with dried tofu is pretty nice. Li Qian immediately went to the cafeteria right after arriving at school. We've been busy all day today. Why don't we go stroll around the north side? Let's see if there's anything good to eat. We can also buy some fruit to bring back. Lin Qingxue immediately shot him a glare. I see you want to go out and have a look. It must be the new younger schoolmates at our university. Not bad at all. Li Qian sighed in resignation. Lin Qingxue turned her head to glance at the dorm. The other 2 roommates. How about you two? Do you want to go out and stroll as well? The other 2 girls immediately nodded, no problem. Lin Qingxue glanced up at Li Qian. It seems like it's been a summer vacation. Our dorm hasn't gone out together in a long time. Then let's go. The 4 of us in room 319 quickly finished packing. The boys' dorm left quickly. We headed towards the snack street at Beijing in the school. At almost the same time, Lin Qingxue and her 3 friends also set off from the girls' dorm. They arrived at the snack street at Beijing. Zhang Mingyang had his hands in his pockets. He looked at us and said, brothers, this Beijing is known for its famous snack street at Jingda. Several barbecue places on this street taste pretty good. You guys can pick one. Zhu Pengfei and Wang Lei exchanged glances. Then they looked at me, the third one, to decide which one to go to. I casually glanced around. At the nearby barbecue places, I went straight to the nearest barbecue restaurant. The others nodded in agreement. Zhang Mingyang hurriedly stepped forward to lead us. At the same time, Li Qian held Lin Qingxue's wrist. After glancing around, she immediately turned to Lin Qingxue and the other 2. Sisters, let's think about it. Which restaurant should we go to? We're all okay with anything. The other 2 girls nodded in agreement. Li Qian then looked over at Lin Qingxue again. Lin Qingxue casually looked up. After quickly scanning the surroundings, her whole body shook slightly in an instant. At the entrance of the barbecue restaurant, I stood next to Zhu Pengfei and a few others. Just as I walked into the barbecue place, in that moment, Lin Qingxue felt her mind go completely blank. Her eyes fixed intently on the restaurant I entered. She held her breath, unable to regain her composure for a long time. It was just too similar. Different from the silhouette seen that morning. Just now, he seemed to really have seen someone. A boy who looks almost identical to Chu Yang. His clothes are just like those in her memory. A clean white short-sleeve shirt, slim-fitting jeans, and that head of messy yet not unkempt black long hair. In that moment, Lin Qingxue felt like she was suffocating. No matter how unwilling he was to believe, Chu Yang was already dead. Yali shook Lin Qingxue's wrist a few times. Qingxue, why are you in a daze? Only then did Lin Qingxue snap back to reality. Looking at Li Qian and others, let's go eat barbecue. Barbecue and beer are a perfect match in summer. Li Qian and the others naturally had no objections. Then Lin Qingxue led Li Qian and the others, slowly, to the barbecue restaurant I had just entered. With every step, his heart would race a bit faster. In this world, are there really people who look exactly the same? Or perhaps that moment, Lin Qingxue's heart that had died for 3 years, mysteriously, it gradually came back to life. Whether it was out of hope, or foolish fantasies, he wanted to see this Chu Yang, who looked just like the one in his memories. A boy who looked exactly the same. Zhang Mingyang. A few of them first entered the restaurant and found a private room to sit down. I casually took the menu and flipped through it a few times. Then I watched a few of them as I went to the restroom. Just keep an eye on things. On the other side, Lin Qingxue and a few people, including Li Qian, also arrived at the restaurant. They first found a corner to sit down and called the owner. After the menu was brought up, Lin Qingxue then looked at the others. Just order whatever you like. I think I saw someone familiar. I'll go see him for a moment. Li Qian's eyes lit up. What familiar person? It wouldn't be a handsome guy, would it? Lin Qingxue rolled her eyes. Oh, come on. You order first. Then he stood there. His gaze swept around the barbecue restaurant. After realizing there were unfamiliar faces everywhere, his expression instantly showed some disappointment. However, he then took a deep breath. One by one, he quickly pushed open the doors of the barbecue restaurant, the curtains of each private room. After finding that there was still no familiar face, he dejectedly walked out from the private room. He repeatedly said, sorry, I went to the wrong room. Finally, Lin Qingxue pushed open Zhang Mingyang's door, the curtain of their private room. Sister Lin Xue saw Lin Qingxue enter. Zhang Mingyang and the others instantly widened their eyes and said, hello. Hello, Lin. Qingxue awkwardly smiled at the three of them. Then she looked at the 4 sets of chopsticks and bowls on the table. Curiously, she asked, do you have one more person? Zhu Pengfei quickly replied, our third brother went to the bathroom. Lin Qingxue nodded. She looked apologetically at a few people, feeling a bit embarrassed. I just thought I saw someone familiar. I walked into the wrong private room. Then he quickly left the private room. As soon as he turned around, he saw a boy wearing a white, short-sleeved shirt from behind. At that moment while walking, Lin Qingxue's heart rate instantly sped up a bit. After taking a deep breath, he slowly walked up behind that boy. She quickly tapped his shoulder. The boy in front quickly turned around. Upon seeing it was Lin Qingxue, his eyes brightened instantly. Lin Qingxue, is there something you need from me? Lin Qingxue's expression froze instantly. I'm so sorry. This student. I mistook you for someone else. My apologies. I'm really sorry, Lin Qingxue repeatedly apologized. Finally, she returned to Li Qian and the others, looking dazed. Li Qian hurriedly asked, what's going on? I just went out for a bit. I felt like I had lost my mind. It's nothing, Lin Qingxue said with a forced smile as she looked up. Then she glanced at the ice-cold beer on the table. This is the first time everyone is out together for barbecue this semester. Let's have a couple of drinks first. I'll start as a toast. He quickly opened the beer with a bottle opener. After pouring himself a full glass of beer, Lin Qingxue tilted her head back, guzzling it down. She finished all the beer in her glass. Meanwhile, I slowly walked out of the restroom. I didn't even check the lobby. I just pushed the door open and walked into the private room. On the table in the private room, there was already a full supply of chilled beer. When they saw me come in, Zhu Pengfei and the others immediately laughed. You're in the restroom for too long. You've been in the restroom for way too long. Everyone is waiting for you. Come, come, come. Let's celebrate that we can gather from all corners of the world. Let's have a toast together. I didn't hesitate either. As soon as I sat down, I immediately picked up the glass in front of me. I smiled at the three of them. Surprisingly, we met more than half an hour later. After 3 rounds of drinks. After 5 dishes were served. At this moment, Zhang Mingyang's face was flushed. He held up his glass and smiled at a few of the guys. Lin Qingxue, Senior Lin, is also having a meal in this restaurant. You say, should we go out together to toast him? After all, he will be our assistant counselor during military training. The assistant counselor during that time. I wondered if Lin Qingxue just came over. Wang Wei immediately said, you just went to the bathroom. Senior Lin might have entered the wrong private room. So she came into our room by mistake. I saw him when I went out to the bathroom just now. He and his roommate are still drinking outside. Zhu Pengfei nodded and said, right. I saw it too. It's worth mentioning. Senior Lin. It can't be our school's first joke, can it? Even when drinking, it's all laughter, right? I frowned slightly at the thought of drinking. The Lin Qingxue from before. She was someone who never touched alcohol. Accompanied by the sound of chairs being moved, I instantly stood up from my chair. Zhu Pengfei and the others immediately looked at me, the third one. What are you going to do? A hint of worry appeared in my eyes. Then I smiled and looked at Zhu Pengfei and the others. I'll step outside for a moment. You all continue drinking. After saying that, I first pushed open the door of the private room. I walked into the Tang dynasty. I looked around. Soon I found Lin Qingxue, who was drinking continuously. At the table, Li Qian and the other two roommates. He looked at Lin Qingxue with concern. Qingxue, please stop drinking. Look, you're already drunk. After Lin Qingxue wandered around the barbecue restaurant, they felt that something was off with Lin Qingxue. She always seemed to be lost in thought. She was drinking one cup after another. At first, they thought Lin Qingxue was just in a bad mood, so they accompanied her with a few drinks. They didn't expect her to drink so heavily. It's nothing. I'll just finish this last cup and then I won't drink anymore. Lin Qingxue's eyes were already a bit hazy. The hand holding the wine glass trembled slightly. Her face was flushed bright red. Right before his eyes, suddenly appeared a face that haunted his dreams. Although it looked a bit blurry, Lin Qingxue believed it was Chu Yang. Stop drinking. I snatched the cup of wine from his hand. She gulped it down. Li Qian looked at me in surprise. Younger schoolmate. It's you, senior. I greeted Li Qian. Then, I cast a worried glance at Lin Qingxue. I asked a few people, how much has he had to drink? Li Qian pointed to the 75 bottles of beer on the ground. These are all consumed by our Linda, the joke. And then she got drunk. Lin Qingxue suddenly looked up. In her slightly reddened eyes, tears streamed down her cheeks in an instant. I haven't had too much to drink. Is that you, Chu Yang? Chu Yang, you finally showed up. Then, he tightly held me, standing right next to him. Gasping for air, I assure you, I will never argue with you again. Please don't just disappear again, okay? My expression was complex. Gently patted Lin Qingxue. Her shoulders shook. I turned towards Li Qian and the other seniors. Where is your dorm? Let me help you take him back to the dorm first. Okay, Li Qian was momentarily stunned. Then she got so excited that we couldn't drag him anymore. He made it troublesome by not wanting to be a burden. I shook my head. Then, I reached out to link arms with Lin Qingxue gracefully. A slender waist lying down. A princess carry. I swiftly lifted him from the chair into my arms. Steady steps followed. We slowly left the private room of the barbecue restaurant. Zhu Pengfei and the others poked their heads out curiously. They saw me pick up Lin Qingxue and walk away. The few of them were instantly dumbfounded. It was quite sudden. They had just been discussing whether they should go toast Lin Qingxue or something. But then I came along. I just went straight in and carried her away. What's going on here? Lin Qingxue's other two roommates. They were also confused. In this 1 year since entering university, there have been rich second-generation boys pursuing Lin Qingxue. There have also been entrepreneurs from outside the school. But without exception, they were all rejected by Lin Qingxue. Even on campus, she was cold to all. The boys and gave them the cold shoulder. How did this top student from elementary school come over? And just went straight for the person. Li Qian was also a bit surprised. Given the current situation, there might be some gossip between these two. But as far as he knew, Lin Qingxue had also had a story with a boy. That is her ex-boyfriend who has been dead for 3 years. Could it be that Chu Yang thought of this? Li Qian couldn't help but shiver. Could this be some kind of resurrection armor? However, at this moment, he didn't have the heart to think too much about it. He quickly ran to the barbecue shop's cash register. After settling the bill, he took the other two from the dorm, and followed me out. Outside the barbecue shop, many students from Jing University were coming and going. At the moment I was holding Lin Qingxue. As I left the barbecue shop, it instantly attracted the attention of many students. Sisters, quick, look at the Princess Carrie. Is this being filmed for an idol drama? That boy is so handsome. Especially those legs, they are so long. It seems like the girl in his arms. Countless girls screamed. However, there were also quite a few boys who were watching closely. They saw clearly that I was holding Lin Qingxue. Suddenly exclaimed, "Oh my gosh! This boy is holding. Isn't that Lin Qingxue, a sophomore? Let go of my goddess, let me take her. Is my goddess finally off the market? I'm clean." Lin Qingxue opened her eyes drowsily. She stared intently at me, just inches away. Her arms instantly wrapped around my neck. She clung to me like a squirrel counting. She hung on to me. She whispered softly, her breath as fragrant as orchids, "Is that you? Chu Yang, is that really you? Chu Yang, you've finally come back. Promise me you won't pay attention to him anymore, okay? I really promise I won't argue with you again." The girl's fragrant scent mixed with a hint of alcohol. Watching the one in my arms squirming around, Lin Qingxue, with her dazed eyes, After all, I'm just starting out. A passionate young adult who just came of age. Lin Qingshue's action instantly made my blood surge with excitement. Couldn't help but swallow hard. Helplessly glanced down at Lin Qingxue in my arms. A look of pampering instantly appeared in my eyes. I promise I will never leave you again. Okay, Lin Qingxue, listen to what I'm saying. She instantly nestled in my arms and smiled with satisfaction. She called out like a child throwing a tantrum. Then you guaranteed it. You can't leave again in the future. From now on, if anyone disappears without a sound, whoever does will be the little puppy. The barking little puppy. I nodded repeatedly. I guarantee that whoever disappears will be the little puppy. The kind of little puppy that barks. At last, Lin Qingxue was finally calmed down. Honestly nestled in my arms. Slowly fell asleep. I turned to glance at Li Qian beside me. Does he often act like this after drinking? Li Qian shook her head repeatedly. No, not at all. Although our dorm sometimes goes out to party, we just drink some beer and such. However, Qingxue always knows her limits when drinking. She's never been drunk. After saying this, he couldn't help but laugh again. Speaking of which, this is also our first time meeting. The way Qingxue looks when she's drunk. I never expected someone who is usually so aloof would be like this after getting drunk. She looks just like a child. The two girls beside us nodded in agreement. I see, I nodded slightly. Then I glanced at Li Qian. The three of them held their phones up and asked in confusion, "Are you recording?" Li Qian had the same expression. She awkwardly smiled at me. "We're just recording happy moments. We're just simply documenting this. How he looks when he's drunk. When he wakes up from his hangover tomorrow. We'll send it to him. More convenient. It will help him remember what happened tonight." The corner of my mouth twitched. After the childish prophecy, I casually dropped a line, "Just take the pictures. Remember to make me look good in them." Li Qian and the others immediately burst into laughter. However, we had only taken a few steps. Li Qian glanced at me curiously again. "That younger student. You can't be the one he talked about, right? The ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago." I thought for a few seconds, if nothing unexpected happened. It should be me. Then he said, "You," and the others looked puzzled instantly. "You mean to say I've been dead for 3 years, right?" I looked down for a moment. Lin Qingxue, who was peacefully asleep in my arms. The corner of my mouth unconsciously lifted slightly. Actually, I also want to know why he would say I've been dead for 3 years. There was a pause of a few seconds. A smile of amusement gradually appeared on my face. My ex-girlfriend, under Li Qian's lead. I held Lin Qingxue in one arm. When they reached the entrance of their dormitory, only then did he carefully set him down from his embrace. Watching Li Qian and the others greet the senior sisters. When he was in the dorm. "I'm counting on you to take care of him tonight." "No problem," Li Qian and the others nodded repeatedly. Then they all stood together next to Lin Qingxue, helped him up, and walked step by step into the girls' dormitory, watching until they disappeared from sight. I then left the entrance of the girls' dormitory. By the time I hurried back to the barbecue shop, Zhu Pengfei and the others were still sitting quietly in the private room. Seeing me push the door open, the three of them stood up together. One person was responsible for moving my chair. One person took care of the table, clearing a clean space on the table. Someone brought me some hot skewers and a bottle of beer. After pinning me to the chair, they finally sat back in their spots, looking like they were in a courtroom. With curious faces, they looked at me and asked, "Third one, tell us what's going on. It's only the first day of college, and you quietly took down the most beautiful campus flower at Jean University." "What do you mean took down?" I helplessly glanced at a few of them. "I've known him since high school. Just now, I heard you all say he was outside. So I went over to say hello, only to find out he was drunk. So I just casually took him back to the dorm." "Did you check your conscience when you said that?" Zhu Pengfei gave me an eye roll. "Third one, don't think we're blind. It's just a normal friendship. Were you going to use a Princess Carrie to take him back to the dorm? Who do you think his roommate is? Besides, I can see, clearly, that the campus beauty Lin rushed into your arms." Wang Wei's eyes brightened. "Old 3. You can't be the one that the beautiful campus flower, Lin, was talking about. That ex-boyfriend who has been dead for 3 years, right? You both broke up 3 years ago. And then you broke his heart and turned love into hatred. So you went around saying you were dead." At this moment, Zhang Mingliang was also possessed by Wang. He suddenly slapped his thigh. "Old 3, I understand now. You're not being fair. Did you abandon him after seducing him? Abandoning our Lin, the beautiful joke. And that's when he said you were dead." Wang Wei has also gotten involved in this. Damn, if that's the case. In the upcoming 2 weeks of military training, Lin, the beautiful campus flower, as our assistant counselor, wouldn't she make things difficult for us? You need to handle this matter. Old 3, I'm completely helpless now. Don't make wild guesses. I haven't done anything to wrong him. Besides, we aren't in a romantic relationship. As far as I know, he never dated in high school. Then I get it, Zhang Mingyang laughed. So that so-called ex-boyfriend who's been dead for 3 years, was spread by Lin Qingxue, using this fabricated ex-boyfriend as a shield, huh? It seems like I might have a chance now. Go, go, go. Zhu Pengfei shot an annoyed glance at Zhang Mingyang. Stop overthinking here. I swear by my keen sixth sense that there are definitely some untold stories between our third bro and Lin Qingxue. There are definitely some hidden stories. With a swish, Zhu Pengfei and the other two turned their gazes towards me. Bro, I want to gossip. I sighed helplessly. We've never been together in this lifetime. There was never any seduction followed by abandonment. Just a normal classmate relationship. So you have no thoughts on it at all. I fell silent for a while. At the same time, desert. A large aerospace engine research base in the north. In a conference room, a person around 70 years old, who is a middle-aged man with a head full of white hair, wearing a lab coat, he looks at the pile of critical design blueprints in front of him, which is almost overwhelming. This is Professor Liu, who spoke with me on the phone earlier, the Vice Dean of the School of Electronic Information at Jin University. At this moment, he stands at the front of the conference room, his gaze serious as he looks at the group of researchers below. He speaks solemnly, everyone, regarding the failure of this test flight. Does anyone have their own thoughts? Have the issues been identified? One of the researchers immediately spoke up. The test results are out. There are several areas where issues arose. First, there is still the issue with the turbine blades. The precision of the turbine blades still has slight deviations. Then everyone quietly listened. By the time the report was over, the old man at the front of the conference room let out a cold hum. Let's not discuss other aspects for now. How many times has the precision of the turbine blades been tested? Still can't meet the standards. The group companies supplying the materials. What does it actually mean? Are we supposed to change the design drawings? Other research bases that started projects at the same time as them. Some have already produced the 5th generation engines for cargo planes. Moreover, they have also developed various models of drones and missiles. But their research on aerospace combat engines took a full 10 years. Yet during the test flights, they came to such a conclusion. This made Lu Yong in the crowd suddenly look up. Looking at the elderly person, he spoke to Mr. Yi. I know someone. Perhaps he can help us solve the problem. The person he's talking about is me. Regarding the research on Guangkaji, the research base encountered many problems back then as well. But those problems will be easily solved in my hands. They will soon be easily resolved. In some ways, among those who participated in the research at the Guangkaji research base, the designers and researchers have in mind my status in their minds. It has almost become a myth. Moreover, he actually discussed it with me before. Space exploration. Regarding the design of the combat engine, I also have many unique insights. He believes that if I come over, I will definitely be able to solve this problem. Upon hearing this, responsible for the overall design of the Western aerospace fighter jet engine, Yi Jiangwo, immediately turned his gaze towards Lu Yong, asking who could come to solve this problem. Chu Yang slowly said to Lu Yong. As his words fell, everyone in the conference room began to whisper among themselves. Who is Chu Yang? What field is he an expert in? Why have I never heard this name in the country? I've never heard this name before. Is there an expert named Chu Yang in aerospace research? Vice President Yi is the deputy director of the Huaka Institute, and even he is not confident about solving this problem. Can the one named Chu Yang come over? Could he help us solve the problem? Whether it's the research projects they are involved in, or the projects I am in charge of. These are all top secret. Not to mention my current identity. In the country, it's absolutely SS level top secret. So the people present basically don't even know my name. Only Yi Jiangwo standing in the crowd looked slightly taken aback. He looked at Lu Yong and asked, that Chu Yang you mentioned, is it you? The chief designer who once participated in that project? As the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, he is quite well informed. Not to mention that at that time, to nominate me, the senior academicians of the academy, these old folks from the academy, even had a meeting together, regarding Chu Yang's deeds. He has a certain understanding of them as well. It's him. Lu Yong nodded emphatically. Yi Jiangwo looked somewhat puzzled. Then can you invite him over? As far as he knows, that little guy isn't fooling around at Kyoto University, going to study, right? That's right, he's indeed fooling around. My research talent. These old guys also have some understanding of it. In 3 years, he could create something from nothing. A nanometer lithography machine was developed. About aerospace. China's chip development to the pinnacle of the world. This research talent. He can't wait to put this little guy Under 24-hour research at the scientific base island. Lu Yong nodded and said, I can't guarantee. But we have to give it a try. Yi Jiangwo pondered for a few seconds. A hint of expectation gradually appeared in his eyes. Finally, he nodded and said, then you can give it a try. Just right, I also want to get to know that interesting little guy. They have all aged. The future of China's research. Ultimately, it still has to be handed over to the young people. The next morning, I was packing my clothes in the dormitory, while talking to someone on the phone about the way over. No problem at all. I will buy the earliest flight ticket and come over. I should be able to arrive tonight. Then I hung up the phone. Zhu Pengfei, who had just gotten out of bed, groggily scratched the back of his head, looked up at me as I was packing my luggage, asked in confusion, what's up, third brother? What are you packing so early in the morning? I have some matters at home that I need to take care of. I'm Chen Sheng. I just received a call from Lu Yong. He wants to invite me to advise him. The 7th generation aerospace. Design and research work on the combat engine. This matter didn't originally require my involvement. But I understand that once I immerse myself in scientific research, I no longer belong to just myself. Just like a few months ago, when I completed that section of text at the research base, I am willing to actively dedicate myself to scientific research, to serve my country with the power of knowledge and technology, and to strive for it for the rest of my life. Some things always require someone to go back and do them. Zhu Pengfei instantly snapped awake. Damn. Aren't you planning to participate in military training? I've already given the school a heads up. Zhu Pengfei nodded as if he understood but didn't quite grasp it. If I say hello, do I not have to participate in military training? After that, he continued to ask where you are going. How long? If it's quick, a week. If it's slow, I estimate I will be back by the time your military training is over. Because I'm just going over to help out a bit. I don't need to participate in the main planning and research. At most, 2 weeks will be enough. Zhu Pengfei completely woke up. Damn. You little rascal, you're not trying to avoid military training, are you? Then you just left suddenly. But did Lin Da Xiaohua say hello? My movements of packing clothes came to a sudden halt. The morning sun shining outside the girls' dormitory shone through the window. It cast onto the floor of the dormitory. Lin Qingxue rubbed her aching forehead slightly. Her forehead, which was subtly aching. She casually stretched her body. The one beside has already. Li Qian, who had gotten up, asked. Xiao Qian, what time is it now? It's only 7 o'clock, that's still early. Li Qian laughed and said she wouldn't go back to sleep. Lin Qingxue quickly climbed out of bed. Rubbing her eyes lightly and comfortably, she asked, did I get drunk last night? I vaguely remember this. I think I may have hugged someone. Because I thought you blacked out. Li Qian started to laugh. Then she took out her phone. She opened the video he recorded last night. So, how about it? Do you want me to help you remember, sister? You even recorded a video? Lin Qingxue exclaimed helplessly. I really admire you. Li Qian handed the phone to Lin Qingxue. Take a look for yourself. Do you still remember the person who carried you? Lin Qingxue quickly took the phone. After seeing the image on the phone screen, the whole person was instantly frozen in place. The phone was currently playing a scene of me carrying him back to school. It even recorded my line about wanting to take a photo. Remember to make me look handsome. In an instant, various memories surged to the forefront of my mind. One drop, then another, continuous tears, quickly flowed down from Lin Qingxue's eyes. It seemed she was afraid I would disappear after watching. After watching the video once, Lin Qingxue quickly ran to the bedside. With wide eyes, she looked at Li Qian and asked, Li Qian, how do you know Chu Yao? Where is he now? Li Xian replied. He is our freshman from the Department of Arts. He showed up after you got drunk last night. Then you just threw yourself into his arms. And then he carried you back. Li Qian then asked Lin Qingxue indirectly. He can't be the one you said. The boyfriend who died 3 years ago, right? I need to find him. Lin Qingxue didn't even have time to answer Li Qian's question. After quickly changing clothes, she rushed out of the dorm. Li Qian called out helplessly. You're in such a hurry. Do you know where his dorm is? Send me the freshman dorm assignment list. There weren't many people coming and going at the entrance of the boys' dormitory. There wasn't much of a crowd. Walking slowly along the path at the dorm entrance, preparing to go to the school cafeteria for breakfast. Suddenly, Lin Qingxue's trembling voice appeared in my ear. Chu Yang suddenly looked up. The tears on Lin Qingxue's face had long been wiped away. He looked at me with a calm gaze like that. 3 years have passed. My appearance hasn't changed much, but it seems I've grown quite a bit taller. My eyes have lost some of their youthful innocence. I have gained a bit more maturity and steadiness. His temperament hasn't changed. He always thought I acted older than my age before. Just like a scholarly old man following behind. Speaking in a very serious manner. It looks very interesting. He still exudes that scholarly aura now, even when wearing the simplest and plainest clothes. He still appears so gentle and refined. Although she had seen me once in the video, Lin Qingxue had already seen me before. But now it was after meeting for real. At that moment, Lin Qingxue felt her heart almost stop. The two fell into a dead silence. Neither of them took the initiative to speak first. For example, back then he angrily said to me, "I never want to see you again." It was mostly out of spite back then. But now he is more curious, confused and resentful. He hates me for leaving silently back then, even though the two had never been together. But don't friends also need to say goodbye? I was also dumbfounded, standing still. I stared closely at Lin Qingxue for a long time. He is still the same as he was 3 years ago. His appearance hasn't changed much. He is still as good-looking as before. On Lin Qingxue's fair cheeks, there remains that pure and beautiful look. In fact, when I left the research base, I had already thought of various openings for when I saw Lin. Various introductions after the snow. Are you 18 now? Have you started dating? Have you been doing well these past few years? Congratulations. You finally got into Kyoto University. But now, I really don't know how to face Lin Qingxue. 3 years ago, I received a legacy from a super civilization, an eternal treasure trove of knowledge. Although from the level of knowledge I currently have, I can't comprehend for now the concept of the eternal treasure trove of knowledge. But it exists deep within my brain. I have formally learned the content of the eternal treasure trove of knowledge. Finally, I finally developed the light technology of Inami. And this is just the insignificant technology in the eternal knowledge vault. It is precisely because of the nanometer level precision in lithography that I submitted this technology to the country, hoping for the best. I handed over this technology to the state. That's what led to my sudden departure 3 years ago. The two of them stared at each other for several dozen seconds. In those few dozen seconds, all the little moments they spent together in high school resurfaced in their minds once again, when they were both called up to the podium by the teacher to solve problems. The cheers and jeers from their classmates below, encouraging each other as they ran the 1500 meters at the sports meet, sneaking spicy snacks during class, and under the setting sun, the sky filled with the fiery glow of dusk. In their youth, all were etched with moments related to each other. It's a pity he never held my dirty hands after playing basketball. My filthy hands. And I never smoothed his messy hair for him. His hair was tousled by the wind. I stood there hesitating for a long time. Only then did I look up and ask, "I heard you thought I was dead." Lin Qingxue's eyes flickered for a moment. Her eyes suddenly turned red again. It seemed like thousands of words were stuck in her throat. He gritted his teeth tightly. He almost shouted out in a hoarse voice, "Yeah. Chu Yang, weren't you dead? Why did you reappear? For a whole 3 years. I really thought I was dead all this time. But now I unexpectedly appeared before him again. I wanted to explain myself. I wanted to explain myself. The things that happened in those 3 years. Why I left. And what I had been doing. But in my current identity, it's really not convenient to disclose. Countless explanations in my heart were all forcefully swallowed back down. The things I've done in these 3 years. The specific details. Not even the closest people can know. Even the contributions I made myself can only be revealed after I die. May then possibly be made public, to let me completely stand in the sunlight. In the end, I just softly said, "No matter what. Long time no see." I didn't want to see Lin Qingxue. Her expression immediately turned cold as I came to see. "Just to confirm whether you're dead or not. Now that I know you're still alive, then I'll just leave first." After saying that, Lin Qingxue turned to leave. "Lin Qingxue," I called out to stop her, saying I have something. Lin Qingxue quickly looked up. I slowly said, "I just wanted to tell you. I have no appetite for the promises made back then." Lin Qingxue chuckled coldly. He suppressed his anger and looked at me. "Chu Yang, what kind of relationship do you think we have? If you want to leave, just leave. If you want to appear, then just appear. It's been 3 years, and I've sent you so many messages. You haven't replied to a single one. For no reason at all. It was as if you vanished from the earth completely. Do you think this is particularly cool? Especially smug? Is that the case? You thought it would make me remember you for life. Didn't you disappear? Since you've already disappeared, why do you want to appear again?" Lin Qingxue almost shouted the last sentence. It seemed like she wanted to release all her sadness and grievances from the past 3 years. But all her frustrations were vented out. At the very beginning, he genuinely still had hope. Was I playing a prank on him? Vanishing for an entire summer. Back then, he thought that after finding me, he would definitely give me a good scolding. But later, he gave up. After 3 years of no news from me, he gradually felt like he was about to forget the events from 3 years ago, and the stories that happened when we were together. But now I suddenly reappeared. I was left speechless by what was said. What could I say? A figure of 7 feet tall, with Subo at Nanshu etching. I can only sigh helplessly and say I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left without a word back then. I left too hastily back then. I don't know how to face Lin Qingxue. To talk about my departure. The research project I was to participate in. That was a state secret. Even my parents. They only knew I was specially summoned by the state. To study in a special place. Serving my country without any regrets. But I feel guilty towards Lin Qingxue. There's no need for you to apologize to me. We don't have any relationship. If you want to leave, then leave. If you want to stay, then stay. Whatever you want to do is none of my business. I glanced at Lin Qingxue and said that I was leaving. There are some urgent matters at home. I need to go back for a while. Well, I'll be back after the military training ends at the latest. Lin Qingxue's expression changed after hearing this. Something was up. However, he soon turned cold again. If you want to leave, then go. I'm not anyone to you. You don't need to explain anything to me. I smiled slightly. Although I said I had already notified the school. But, you are, after all, our class's assistant counselor. Freshman missing military training. And saying hi to the counselor. Isn't that what you should do? Besides, in my eyes, you're far more than. It's not just as simple as my counselor. I don't understand what you're saying, Lin Qingxue huffed softly. Then she pretended to be calm and asked if I had anything else. If there's nothing, then I'll leave first. There's nothing. I raised my hand slightly. I wanted to smooth out his somewhat messy hair. However, just as my hand was about to touch him, I restrained myself and stopped my movement. This time it shouldn't be considered as silent. Left without saying goodbye, right? I don't want to be like a little dog anymore. Can't be bothered to deal with yo. Qingxue suddenly recalled what happened after she got drunk last night. The things she said. With a flushed face, she shot me a glare, saying there was something at home. If you're going, then hurry up and leave. I'm so annoyed. After saying that, he quickly turned and left. I stood there watching Lin Qingxue's figure as she ran away. Yet a smile gradually appeared on my lips. Maybe I'm really not good at romance. Back at the dorm, Lin Qingxue thought for a long time. Suddenly, she angrily blamed herself. Lin Qingxue, can you not be so pathetic? Can you not soften at the sight of him? He left without a sound for 3 years. Did he ever understand your feelings? You're even concerned about what happened in his family. Then she took a few deep breaths. After calming her emotions a bit, she quickly made up her mind in her heart. The events of these 3 years. I absolutely cannot just let this go. However, I didn't know any of this. Because at that moment, I had already stepped into the elevator heading to the departure lounge. Just then, someone shouted at the people in the elevator. Those inside, come out. Hurry up and get out first. I looked up at the elevator entrance. In that crowded throng, it turned out to be a celebrity. There were also quite a few female fans taking pictures there. I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. Can't you all wait for the next one since there are so many of you? Did you build this airport? What do you mean? The male celebrity's assistant's face instantly turned unpleasant. Do you know how packed Kun's schedule is? Don't you know? Our flight is about to arrive. You need to make way quickly. I remained unfazed. What does the arrival of the plane have to do with us? Ask the people standing in this elevator. Which of them doesn't have their own business to attend to? Do celebrities really have privileges? Upon hearing this, the surrounding, frenzied female fans couldn't take it anymore. Can they be as busy as our Kun? Kun is a top-tier celebrity in the country. He's swamped with daily briefings. Can't you let our Kun go up first? What's wrong with you? Giving Kun the elevator is simply an honor for you. Hurry up and get out of the way. What are you standing there for? If this delays our Kun's flight, can you all handle the responsibility for that? At that moment, the male celebrity's expression was somewhat awkward. Over the past 2.5 days of being popular in the country, he has long been accustomed to a life of luxury, not to mention just letting him have an elevator. Even if he's 2.5 hours late for filming, the entire crew has to wait for him. What's the big deal about ordinary people letting him have the elevator? However, as a professional habit of a celebrity, he is still very cautious in certain aspects. If he were to do something extreme, it could easily provoke public resentment. In the next second, a smile appeared on his face. After sending away his assistant and bodyguards, he looked at you in the elevator and smiled, saying it was okay. Although I was in a hurry, I still let you go up first. After all, everyone is very busy. I couldn't help but twitch my lips in silence. Just the time wasted here would be enough for the elevator to go up and come back down. But the die-hard fans excitedly said, Kun really has good upbringing. They were even pointing at me. I shook my head helplessly. I didn't pay any attention to that male celebrity. Instead, I directly pressed the button to close the elevator. Heroes' withered bones go unnoticed. The private lives of actors are public knowledge. However, I didn't know that just because I didn't give way for the elevator. This male celebrity wanted to incite the fans' public opinion to attack me. Shortly after I left, the male celebrity turned around and smiled at the fans. A fleeting chill passed through his eyes as he said, all right. Everyone, please don't make a scene. It's just a small difference. It mustn't be made public online. We should leave now, everyone disperse. The assistant also quickly called a meeting. With a smile to everyone, he said everyone should disperse first. Remember, do not let this thing spread online. Please, don't do that. Of course, even though I say this out loud, I have already started to plan in my mind. If this gets out online, how to use this for some marketing. Those fans hadn't even thought about it this way, but once they mentioned it, within the various fan groups of this male celebrity, it instantly exploded. Kun is their idol. He bullied their brother. This is simply worse than killing their parents. It's even more excessive. A few minutes later, those crazy female fans of Kun started to spread online various maliciously edited videos, calls to attack me. There's big data searching my posts. Everything came out all at once. There was even a post titled, "Come out to apologize to Kun." A post saying, "Our idol deserves respect." It was directly boosted by those fanatical female fans who pushed it to trending. Therefore, some information about me was also posted online by certain people, although most critical information was encrypted at SSS level. Unless someone has very high authority, basically no one can find it. However, even so, it still resulted in my photos being exposed online, especially in the personal experience section. It even stated that for 3 years in between, there were no records regarding my experiences. After this incident was exposed, countless of Kun's fanatic female fans immediately started keyboard bashing online. Is it really so easy to get into Peking University these days? Can anyone go to Peking University now? There was no record of this person's college entrance examination. There was also no record of whether he participated in international competitions, sharp events. How did someone like this get into Kyoto University? I suggest that the relevant authorities conduct a thorough investigation. Of course, there are also some fans in civil matters. However, under the influence of various fanatical fans, public opinion online has directed toward Kun from the very beginning. This made me suddenly become the target of everyone's scorn, like a universally despised person. In the dormitory of Jin University, Li Qian, who was comfortably scrolling through Douyin, upon seeing this rapidly rising trending topic, she immediately called Lin Qingxue over. Qingxue, take a look, is this your junior from elementary school? A lot of people online are cursing him now. What do you mean by, my junior from elementary school? Lin Qingxue was taken aback for a moment. She quickly grabbed Li Qian's phone and took a look. She was immediately speechless, thinking, are the fans all idiots? Then she took out her own phone and clicked into the trending topic to start cursing. Are celebrities really superior to others? Isn't it just an elevator that didn't stop for you? Are you in a hurry to be reborn or to die? He can insult me, but I owe him. But others can't do that. Looking at Lin Qingxue's indignant expression, Li Qian couldn't help but laugh. Qingxue, who said she would have nothing to do with Chu Yang anymore? From the looks of you, it seems you still have feelings for him. Lin Qingxue's cheeks immediately flushed. She shot Li Qian a glare and turned away. If it were someone else treated like this, I would react the same way. But he quickly realized. His comments were instantly drowned out by those malicious comments. Li Qian began to worry about Qingxue. This is not good. Kun's rabid fans clearly want to go after your little classmate. He's in big trouble this time. I said I would have nothing to do with him from now on. Lin Qingxue immediately started to explain. But then, a look of deep concern appeared in his eyes. However, at this moment, in a certain special office, an emergency red light suddenly lit up, immediately removed from the ranking. A large number of users disclosed the identities of our SSS members online, and the identity information of confidential members. There may be a risk of leakage. We are prepared to intercept. Please issue specific instructions from above. After seeing this, Lu Chongqing, the head of the National Security Agency, was immediately furious. What are you people doing? Immediately have someone take down all information online about. Remove all information about Chu Yang. And immediately arrange for someone to investigate this matter. See if there are any foreign intelligence agency personnel involved who are pushing into this. I'm giving you just 10 minutes. If he suffers any harm as a result, all of you will face the consequences. Huaxia can do without me as the head of security, the director of the National Security Agency, but the scientific community in Huaxia absolutely cannot do without him. As a genius researcher in the country, my personal file has long been linked to the National Security Agency. no matter who it is, or any organization wanting to access my information, will immediately trigger a danger alert. He never expected. This time it wasn't just one person checking my identity, but countless unaware internet users spreading my news online. After checking the airport elevator surveillance, he gritted his teeth and cursed under his breath again. Some celebrities nowadays are truly becoming more and more outrageous. Abusing their status is bad enough. With this much time passed, to act so pompously on someone else, letting someone about to become the youngest academician in the country give way to you in the elevator. Do you deserve that? However, just as he finished speaking, his phone immediately rang. As soon as he saw the contact name, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. The protective one has arrived. The call was from Wang Weiyu, the president of the Huazhong University of Science and Technology. Don't be fooled by these old men, but when it comes to protecting their own, every single one of them is skilled. They are all good at it. Taking a deep breath, I finally nervously connected the call. Wang Weiming directly started yelling at him. Lu Chongqing, you rat of the National Security Agency. What are you even good for? Now that such a big incident has occurred online, doesn't your agency have any measures in place? Let me tell you, if Chu Yang's identity is exposed, this old man, don't care about saving face anymore, and I will come to your office to make a scene. Lu Chongqing's expression was also bitter. Wang Leoning, calm down, calm down. I'm already arranging for someone to resolve this in 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, all the online information will be taken down. What about that celebrity? I'll arrange an interview immediately with the relevant person in charge of the Cultural Development Department. Don't worry, I will definitely give you, and all researchers at the Huaka Academy, a good explanation. I'll wait for your news. Wang Weiming and Chen Yin quickly hung up the phone. Lu Chongqing took a deep breath. He sat in his office, gritting his teeth. Damn it. I've worked at the National Security Agency for so many years. It's the first time I've been so publicly insulted, and I can't even say anything about it. Then he picked up the phone on his desk to notify the Cultural Development Department head. I demand he come to my office within half an hour. Otherwise, I'll go to the Cultural Development Agency myself. Meanwhile, while waiting at the airport, I received a call from Wang Weiming. Little Chu, don't worry about this matter. Leave it to me to handle. Just focus on your waiting. Don't let these external matters disturb your thoughts. Within a day, I will definitely give you a satisfactory explanation. I didn't take it seriously at first, but the next second, a few brightly dressed girls walked up to me. You are Chu Yang, right? He looks decent on the outside. Aren't you in a hurry with something? Why are you still waiting in this boarding lounge? Sitting here is still sitting here. You're just taking advantage of Kuan Kuan's fame. You want to ride on our Kuan Kuan's popularity, right? Don't you want to get famous? Then we'll help you get famous properly. As soon as the words fell, one of the girls splashed a bottle of water directly on me. I had no time to react and was left totally soaked. The security in the boarding lounge also saw this scene. They quickly rushed over to my side. What are you all doing? The girls exchanged glances. They immediately ran away quickly. I had just finished wiping the water off my body with a tissue. Suddenly, the phone screen that was left aside lit up. Lin Qingxue, who was worried in the dormitory, silently sent a message. Are you okay? My originally bad mood instantly became happy. But just as I was about to reply to the proud Lin Qingxue, the dorm leader called me. I was furious upon hearing that. It turns out that Lin Qingxue and a few girls from their dormitory have been speaking up for me online. In the end, I don't know who leaked it. We were desk mates in high school. Someone even posted his photos online. Now, he's being attacked by Kuan Kuan's fans in various ways. From the very beginning, I have been looking at that group of fervent fans with a tolerant, indifferent attitude. Fervent fans. At this moment, I took a deep breath. I looked down at the message Lin Qingxue sent me. Instantly, I felt a pang of heartache. He's being insulted online like this. And yet he still cares whether I'm okay or not. After pondering for a few seconds, then made a phone call to make arrangements. The call was quickly connected. Lin Qingxue was the first to ask Chu Yang. How are you doing at the airport now? Are you okay? I heard Kuan Kuan's fans are really crazy. They haven't done anything to you, have they? It's okay, it's okay. You don't need to worry about this for now. Leave it to me to handle, okay? For now, just stay in your dorm and don't check Weibo. Find a cheerful movie to watch. Once the movie is over, I will resolve the issue. But Lin Qingxue's tone was a bit agitated. How are you going to solve it? There are so many people online right now. They're criticizing you everywhere. How can you handle it alone? By the end of it, his voice carried a tremor, and he regretted it. If he hadn't acted out of spite this morning, and instead had come to see me, wouldn't this have happened? After comforting him a bit, to change the subject, I jokingly said, Senior Lin, You're so worried about me. Does that mean you've forgiven me? Of course not. Lin Qingxue immediately pouted in a tsundere manner. Let me tell you. Each matter is separate. I'm helping you online. Only because what they did was really too much. That's all there is to it. Please, don't think too much. Just give up on that idea. I absolutely won't forgive you, humph. After saying that, he silently added in his mind. At the very least, I can't forgive so easily. He really is that pathetic. It's been 3 years since we last contacted each other, but the moment I appear, he immediately raises the white flag in his heart. He surrenders unconditionally. No matter how many harsh words were said, no matter how deep his feelings are, as long as he sees me, all his unhappiness instantly disappears. The moment I first saw Lin Qingxue, I knew he was still the same him from back then. It's just that he's too proud. The only thing I can be grateful for is that we haven't missed each other. I look up, and there's still a long time ahead. Once I finish my family matters, I will sincerely ask for your forgiveness then. I can't be bothered to talk to you. I hung up, and Lin Qingxue's expression changed dramatically. He hung up the phone directly. Then he took a few quick deep breaths. He raised a hand to his slightly reddened cheek. He quickly fanned himself a few times. Li Qian, sitting next to him, grinned mischievously. Why aren't you crying anymore? When Lin Qingxue's news was exposed by those fans, I don't know how many malicious messages were sent to his phone. Even though he appeared cold and aloof, deep down inside, just nothing more than just a 19-year-old girl. Lin Qingxue quickly shook her head. She picked up her phone again, turning into a defender of justice. She started posting comments again. After I hung up Lin Qingxue's call, I took out a secure phone from my suitcase. I pulled out a confidential phone. I dialed a phone number. I am Chu Yang. Confidential ID S17171. I request to speak with Director Lu Chongqing of the National Security Agency. After Lu Chongqing answered the phone, Academician Chu was truly apologetic. Don't worry, your identity will absolutely not be exposed. All involved parties, the National Security Agency will definitely conduct a thorough investigation. In that case, it will bother Director Lu. However, I still need to trouble you a bit. That girl who supported me on Weibo is Jinda. I don't want him to be disturbed by this matter anymore. Not a problem. These are things our National Security Agency should be doing. What we should be doing. However, Academician Chu, may I ask a question, if I may be so bold? That Lin Qingxue on the internet, is she your girlfriend? If so, our National Security Agency will have corresponding security measures. For the families of top-tier scientific researchers, they have a series of security protocols at the National Security Agency. Just like my parents. The moment I stepped into the research facility 3 years ago, my parents had already moved into the family compound in Kyoto, and someone ensured their safety during daily outings. I was taken aback for a moment. After a brief pause of a few seconds, it's not that I understand now. I understand, Lu Chongqing nodded repeatedly. Don't worry, I will take care of this matter. After saying that, he hung up the phone. He kept muttering under his breath. What the heck? I was wondering why this kid suddenly ran off to study at Jin University. Turns out he went to find his girlfriend. Now that's more like a young person. However, he immediately frowned again, looking at the trending topic on Weibo that keeps rising. What's going on? Didn't they already start deleting some comments? Why is the buzz still so high? The staff was a bit helpless. Kuan has too many fans. We can't keep up with deleting comments and such. We deleted a batch. Another batch appeared immediately. Lu Chongqing snorted coldly. What did the head of Weibo say? This buzz just won't die down. Do they want me to invite their boss to the National Security Agency to have tea? The head of Weibo didn't answer the call. However, I contacted my friend who works at Weibo. He said this matter about Kuan. A lot of capital has already entered the game. They want to take this opportunity to boost Kuan's popularity again. His commercial value is still quite high right now. Lu Chongqing instantly couldn't help but curse. I don't care what capital Kuan has behind him. Directly arrange for the tech department people. Shut down all the microwave servers for me. All those who posted inappropriate comments online. All will have their accounts banned. Bring all that capital to the National Security Agency. I want to see if their capital is stronger. Or if my size 49 is stronger. Also notify the others. Within 2 minutes of the agencies, all news about Chu Yang online must disappear completely. At his command, police stations across the country, military camps everywhere, all received the red-headed documents for case assistance. There are just 2 contents in the document. The first is to prohibit unauthorized discussions in the police stations. The second matter is to arrest people. Based on the information from the IP addresses, go to the relevant locations to arrest people. Although the descriptions in the document are very simple, Everyone knows, however. The fewer the words, the bigger the situation. The police chief frowned and made arrangements. Have all personnel on leave return to the police station immediately. Everyone, go and arrest people. Inside a certain military camp. A gray-haired commander. He looked seriously at the documents in his hand. After a long inspection, he immediately dialed Lu Chongqing at the National Security Agency. Old Lu, what is going on this time? Why are we, the military, the ones getting involved? Lu Chongqing, busy and overwhelmed, quickly responded. Old Zhao, don't worry about it for now. Due to confidentiality regulations, I can only say, that young man in the documents, he is an important scientific researcher in our country. His value can even surpass the money you had back then. What about the old gentleman? The commander's expression immediately became serious. I understand. Don't worry about this matter. Our military will definitely cooperate. They all understand who the former gentleman was. After hanging up the phone, the old man's face turned red with anger. His fist slammed heavily on the desk. Correspondent. Immediately pull a group of people over for me. Cooperate with the police to help me catch someone. Meanwhile, inside the high-end VIP waiting lounge, Kuan is leisurely lying on a luxurious massage chair, watching the heated topic that is already buzzing. His eyes are filled with arrogance and pride. You're just an ordinary person wanting to compete with me. I could kill you with just a finger. The assistant next to him laughed. Your fans are really impressive. It hasn't even been half an hour yet. This topic is about to soar to the trending top spot. Your exposure has increased significantly. Just as they were getting happy, they did not know. They would soon have to accompany Fan for her tailoring appointment. Inside the National Security Agency, Lu Chongqing directly tossed the documents on the table. In front of the head of the Cultural Department, Kuan is suspected of defaming domestic confidential personnel, and intending to expose the information of domestic confidential personnel, to be handled as a treason case. Sun Bin, assistant Wuhan designed to defame domestic confidential personnel, and incited online crowds to leak our confidential information, to be handled as a treason case. There are another 17 or 18 celebrities on this document. All are. From this period, they have all been active on the internet regarding Kuan. This is just the first step. How to handle it in the end? It will depend on the damage results from your department. But I must say, this incident is serious. It might even involve foreign organizations inciting it. Subsequent supervisory departments, tax departments, economic departments and various other departments will join forces. As soon as this was said, the head of the Cultural Development Department immediately became restless. If it weren't for the chair to lean against, they almost collapsed onto the floor. Not to mention safety matters. They rarely get involved in entertainment industry affairs. This intervention not only directly arranged a treason case, but even coordinated actions with multiple departments. He hurriedly took his leave from Lu Chongqing. I rushed back to the Cultural Development Department. In just 10 minutes, the trending topic was immediately removed. There's no information about me online anymore. Kuan and his assistant were shocked when they saw this. They exclaimed immediately. The next second, the assistant contacted an executive at Weibo. An executive working there. The executive instantly began to curse, saying, "Let me tell you, we're in big trouble now. Considering our past relationship, I'll give you a piece of advice. Either you run away, or you confess and get leniency later." Just because of Kuan's incident. Do you know how badly this has hurt us? Just 1 minute before you made the call, a group of National Security Agency people rushed to our headquarters. They directly took our server staff away. Most of the equipment in the company was taken away as well. And I estimate that after I finish this call with you, all our top executives at Weibo are just waiting to go have tea with the National Security Agency. After saying this, he was still not satisfied. He directly started cursing, calling them bastards. I'll leave my words here today. You'd better not let me see you in the country. Otherwise, I have plenty of ways to deal with you. At this moment, the head of the Cultural Development Department called directly to Kuan's management company. The president on the other end just picked up the phone. He immediately started cursing and called you. This is to inform you that all the artists under your management company will have all their ongoing film and television projects suspended. Don't bring them to me anymore. If I let you off the hook, then I'll take your last name in the future. Also, your company's online promotion of Kuan and his celebrity status will all be blacklisted, especially Kuan. Of course, you don't need to worry about that. He's already finished. Also, before 9 p.m. tonight, bring your company's executives to the Cultural Development General Office. I'm inviting you all for tea. The head of the management company was instantly dumbfounded. It was at this moment, a secretary in Balenciaga hurriedly ran in. President Sun, something big has gone wrong. People from the tax bureau have arrived. They want to take all the materials related to our company, the financial and tax documents, and the industrial and commercial department, the finance department, the fire department, and even people from the police station. They're all heading towards the company. The president of the agency was instantly lost in confusion. It's all over, everything is finished. There's no need to think, it's just game over. And over at the airport. At this moment, Kuan and his assistant kept receiving various cancellation notifications, cancelled endorsements, cancelled contracts, and they still couldn't figure out what was happening. Four individuals still stepped forward. We are law enforcement personnel from the Safety Administration. According to the investigation, you two are suspected of endangering state secrets. Arrest approved now. Please come with us for a moment. Kuan was dumbfounded on the spot. Wasn't it just that someone was supposed to give him an elevator? Plus, the elevator hasn't even been given. How did it end up like this? Who exactly is that guy? Reluctantly, Kuan asked if he could inquire. What kind of person is that Chu Yang? You aren't worthy of knowing his identity. Anyway, just know that your closest one is also one. He has been stripped of his rights for life. But before he could collect himself, he saw me quietly sitting in the waiting hall. Immediately, two security personnel from the agency walked right over. Mr. Chu, the issues online have mostly been resolved. We were sent by Director Liu to ensure your safety. I stood up and addressed them. Then I cast a playful glance at Kuan. I smiled and said, "Big star. I wish you good luck in the days to come." He was instantly provoked. However, with the slightest movement, he was restrained by the two people escorting him. Don't play tricks. Be honest, however. A celebrity, after all, has so many supportive fans. But when countless of Kuan's scandals were exposed, it made his fans instantly restless. But only a dozen minutes passed. Then, even bigger news came out. According to the tax department's investigation, Kuan evaded taxes amounting to 1.56 billion. This directly triggered gravity, I swear. There are only about 1.4 billion people in China, right? This person truly deserves to be hated. Meanwhile, in the girls' dormitory of Kyoto University, Li Qian excitedly shouted, Qingxue, did you see that? The authorities have taken action. Your Chu Yang is really lucky this time. I saw it. Lin Qingxue nodded repeatedly. However, he proudly explained, I want to state again. I really have nothing to do with Chu Yang anymore. But the next second, the phone in his hand rang. His expression tightened instantly. He immediately made a shushing gesture, don't make noise. Chu Yang is calling. Li Xian immediately grinned mischievously. And you said you have nothing to do with Chu Yang. The moment he calls, you get this nervous. Go away, he quickly rolled his eyes a few times. He took a deep breath. Only then did he answer my call. What's wrong, Chu Yang? Is there something going on? I'm getting ready to board the plane. So I called to let you know. Lin Qingxue nodded thoughtfully. Then she immediately pouted and said, we don't have any relationship anyway. If you're boarding the plane, then go ahead. What does that have to do with me? You don't need to call me. After he finished speaking, he couldn't help but ask. Did you see what happened on Weibo? Kuan was arrested. All those messages about you online. All gone. You are really lucky this time. You just happened to run into the national reform of the entertainment industry. Yeah, you should thank the state. I also didn't explain too much. It's best if he can think this way. He wouldn't need to say much more. This is the boarding announcement for the flight to Mo. Boarding call for the north. I'm about to board the plane. I'll come find you when I get back. I also want to know about the ex-boyfriend you said died 3 years ago. What does ex-boyfriend mean? My ex-girlfriend. Lin Qingxue's face instantly turned red. What ex-boyfriend? I don't know. You go board the plane, I'll hang up. After hanging up the phone, Lin Qingxue immediately became anxious. How did he remember this? She really thought he was dead back then. Who knew he was still alive now? How am I supposed to explain this? I can't just tell him that I really like you. So I gave you the identity of an ex-boyfriend. I assigned the identity of an ex-boyfriend to a dead person, right? But right after that, he became somewhat puzzled. Passengers traveling from Kyoto to Mo Bay. When did Chu Yang move his home to Mo Bay? He hadn't had the chance to think it through yet. Li Xian leaned over mischievously towards Lin Qingxue. Do you know how you looked when you just made that call? You looked just like a horny kitten. And this time, Kuan was sitting in the detention van with a vacant stare. At this moment, he still had a glimmer of hope. He thought he could still save himself. He looked at the law enforcement officer beside him and said, Hey there, big brother. Can you give me my phone? Can I make a couple of calls? After this is over, I'll personally give you 5 million. You really have a lot of money. The law enforcement officer sneered. He pointed at the badge hanging on his chest. Well, bribing a law enforcement officer. Your charges are about to increase. You definitely won't be allowed to make calls. That's the rule. But I can still let you take a look. The news from outside right now. After saying that, he pulled out his phone. Little did Kun expect. The next second, the law enforcement officer immediately blurted out a curse. Old Wang. Stop the car and let me sit in the front. This kid wet himself. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lin Qingxue was sitting in the girl's dorm. She began to think about me again. He glared at our call records fiercely. Gnashing his teeth, he muttered to himself about Chu Yang. So after going back, there hasn't been a word. Have you arrived home or not? At this moment, Li Qian walked up to him with a mischievous smile. Qingxue, do you know what you look like right now? Like some sort of woman who brings good fortune to her husband. If you really still have feelings for him, just send him a message. Absolutely not. He immediately shook his head and pouted, saying, I'm so beautiful. Other than him, who would want me, Chu Yang? Why should I take the initiative to text him? On the other side, in order to quickly research the space shuttle engine, I began to study the materials day and night. At 11 p.m., I arrived at Dingyi Jiangwo's dorm. I handed him the USB drive I was holding. Dingyi, this is my concept about aerospace. Ideas for an engine. And research diagrams. Dingyi only looked at it once. His expression gradually became serious. Because the information I provided was too detailed. At that moment, my phone suddenly rang. Sorry, academician Yi. Yi Jiangwo smiled. It's fine, it's fine. It's so late. It must be your girlfriend from Jinda. Sending you a message. Young people in love, huh? I've been through it too. You don't have to worry about me. I looked and it was indeed a message from Lin Qingxue. Are you home? I'll just be honest, I'm already home. I'm chatting with someone else. Seeing this message, Lin Qingxue. Instantly, I was furious. I finally let go of my last stubbornness. To actively ask him what he was doing. This guy actually said he was chatting with someone else. He has time to chat with others, but doesn't have time to send me a message that he's home. Did disappearing for 3 years mean we're not good friends anymore? Back when we were still desk mates, even if I was just going to take a shower, I would receive a message from him letting me know. It turns out men do change. I guess I was just being overly sentimental. After letting out a hum, Lin Qingxue sent several messages over. Did I come at an awkward time? Then I won't chat anymore. You can talk to him today. I'll come back tomorrow. This way, the monitoring won't feel too cold. Don't you think? Good night, I'm going to sleep. Upon seeing Lin Qingxue, the sudden long message that came through, I instantly felt a bit puzzled. What's going on here? And what does this tone imply? Seeing this, Yi Jiangwo quickly asked. Did you have a fight with your girlfriend? Back when I was pursuing my wife, I had to make her incredibly happy. If it's a relationship issue, you can consult this old man. So, just like that, someone dared to call. And someone dared to learn. And sent Lin Qingxue such a message. Then you should go to sleep first. The dormitory has air conditioning in summer. Make sure to cover yourself well when you sleep at night so you don't catch a cold. Good night, smother you, little thing. On the other side, Lin Qingxue saw this and her expression froze instantly. She was gnashing her teeth as she quickly typed on her phone. Chu Yang hasn't hit you in 3 years. Are you feeling itchy? Smother you, little thing. I'm going to smother you, you dog of a man. I'm stunned. Isn't it smother you, little thing? After hesitating for a few seconds, I immediately sent a message asking, isn't that what everyone says online? Lin Qingxue was really upset. That's definitely Enshi Dixie Chu Yang. Are you some kind of primitive person? Li Qian from the dormitory. Instantly, my expression changed. The gaze turned towards Lin Qingxue. Could it be that your Chu Yang dumped you? Lin Qingxue tightened her grip on her phone fiercely. I've made up my mind. At least 3 days without talking to him. Li Qian quietly said, I think it'll be at most 1 day. Yi Jiangwo looked at me, who was becoming dazed. So, is he happily off to sleep? Oh right, he went to sleep, it's the next morning now. Lin Qingxue, as the assistant counselor, was sitting on the playground, occasionally glancing at her phone. Sitting next to her, Li Qian quickly asked. Lin Qingxue, are you hiding a man in your phone? Looking at her phone every few minutes. What's going on? Lin Qingxue instantly pouted. With an air of superiority, she said, it's not even Chu Yang. This morning, I sent a good morning message. And now it's almost noon. He hasn't replied to a single message. Although I said I wouldn't talk to him for 3 days. I didn't actually tell him that. I even intentionally posted a friend ring, accompanied by a photo of summer military training. He just waits for me to message him when he goes out. You could ask how the military training at school is going. Maybe I'll soften up and respond to him. Who knew that even with the opportunity, he wouldn't be useful? Li Xian quickly said, weren't you saying yesterday that you wouldn't talk to him for 3 days? Then why can't he send me a message? Lin Qingxue continued to pout. Li Qian saw this. immediately couldn't help but pinch Lin Qingxue, who still had a delicate baby fat face. Please, my dear Xiao Qingxue, do you have to be this cute? After a bit of thought, he continued to wait. If he's not even messaging you, then just ignore him. There are thousands of men in the world. If it doesn't work, let's change. You don't lack men like Chu Yang anyway. Lin Qingxue pouted again. She raised her hand to check her phone again. Still, there was no news. The research base in the afternoon. Dozens of leaders in the field gathered together. Among everyone present, apart from Wooly, most others received an urgent summons afterwards, and were directly sent to the Mo Bay research base. They had no idea what was going on. Just as everyone was gossiping, Yi Jiangwo finally brought Chu Yang and Wooly into the conference room slowly. Who is this kid? He's so young, yet he's next to Ding Yi. Is he also a participant in the project? Upon seeing Chu Yang's arrival, some people in the conference room were stunned. They had no idea about Chu Yang's attack. However, the research personnel at the base were at least around 30 years old. Those older than them were nearly 70 or 80 years old. Yi Jiangwo glanced around at everyone. Everyone, please be quiet. His voice was somewhat serious, immediately silencing everyone present. Everyone shut their mouths. Even the other few. The old dean of the Huaca Institute also kept quiet. The old man calmly looked towards Yi Jiangwo. After clearing his throat, Yi Jiangwo continued to say, the gathering this time must have a reason. However, before that, everyone needs to sign a confidentiality agreement. Once the confidentiality agreement is signed, we will discuss other matters immediately. In front of each of them, a confidentiality envelope was distributed. After everyone opened the envelope, they found documents labeled Top Secret. Instantly appeared before everyone. Top Secret 5-star agreement. What kind of project is this? The 5-star Top Secret agreement. It hasn't appeared many times since the founding of the country, right? To participate in such a significant research project. How many researchers? A dream they could never reach in their lifetime. Once everyone finished signing the confidentiality agreement, Yi Jiangwo then continued that the confidentiality agreement was signed. Then let me introduce to everyone. The project I am going to announce next is concerning our country's regional design and research project for propulsion devices. This is Chu Yang, who is standing next to me. He is the main person in charge of this project. Someone spoke up and asked Ding Yi, you're not joking, are you? Just like that. A young person can really be responsible for this project? Gradually, others started to ask questions. Exactly. If it was assigned as a golden opportunity from above, I think that's not a problem. However, making him the main person in charge of the project, is that a bit too hasty? It's not that these people don't believe, but this news is really a bit too alarming to hear. A young person under 20 wants to take charge of a top-secret 5-star research project. How is that possible? Yi Jiangwo did not say much more. He just glanced at me. I immediately cleared my throat after the meeting, then slowly walked in front of everyone. Esteemed experts, professors, and even academicians from the Huaca Institute. I know I'm too young. I also know you all have many questions. Why I would participate in this project. Whether you leave or stay, it's up to you. Chu Yang can't stop me either. I'll give you all 3 minutes to think, to decide whether to stay or leave. After 3 minutes, I will explain the reason to everyone. If you have any doubts and questions, you can ask me directly then. The entire conference room fell silent instantly. Some also looked at Chu Yang in surprise. Regardless of his research level, being able to speak confidently in front of so many experts and professors is impressive. Speaking up, he has already surpassed all the young talents encouraged domestically. All the young talents. After 3 minutes. Naturally, no one wanted to leave. No matter what. This 5-star classified project is an opportunity no one wants to miss. After seeing this scene, only then did I slowly begin to speak. The research on this regional drive engine device was proposed by me personally, and have already achieved some theoretical results and research materials. Follow-up. I will fully explain the research approach to everyone. And then, each of you, the research content that needs your cooperation. If there are any questions, you can raise them. Countless people began to exclaim in amazement. It really is a regional drive device. Have we all really grown old? Today's young people are so impressive. After completely accepting this reality, everyone held a brief meeting. The meeting lasted nearly 6 hours. Until after 2 a.m. I finally finished this meeting. Among them, I highlighted some. The implementation theory of the regional drive device. I also answered various questions raised by several experts and scholars. The meeting ended. Thunderous applause erupted, accompanied by one research after another. Scholars' fervent shouts resonated throughout the entire conference room. These people have truly grown old. Fortunately, the scientific community in Huaxia has promising successors. Truly, a new generation surpasses the old. After bidding farewell to the experts, I walked to the confidentiality box at the door. I retrieved my phone. While powering it on, I returned to the dormitory of the reception center. After turning it on, I saw a message from Lin Qingxue. The message she sent. It was sent around 11 p.m. It was just a brief goodnight message. After pondering for a few seconds, I chuckled softly and replied, "Good night, sweet dreams." The next second, Lin Qingxue immediately replied to the message. Oh my! Our busy person has finally decided to reply. After a brief pause, I raised my hand and replied, "You're awake now." Lin Qingxue instantly gritted her teeth. What the hell, he's not sleeping. Other than a good morning, Chu Yang didn't send him any messages all day. It really is a. He didn't send him any extra messages. It left him feeling itchy inside. Sending a goodnight message was also a way to hope Chu Yang would reply. In the end, I kept waiting and waiting. I've been waiting until now. I took a deep breath. After quickly calming my emotions, Lin Qingxue slowly returned to the fact that she hadn't slept. I chatted with my roommate for a while. Is there a problem? No problem, I quickly replied with several messages. I asked, so when do you plan to sleep? I don't know, Lin Qingxue pouted. After hesitating for a few seconds, I immediately sent a message asking about things at home. Wow, you're so busy. You're busy all day. You don't even have time to send me a message. It's quite busy. I silently replied that I was perfecting the data in the morning. In the afternoon, I was hosting various experts and professors. In the evening, I also had to hold a meeting with them. It's indeed quite busy. Well, that's good. Lin Qingxue quickly responded. She silently bit her lip again. Since you're busy, you might as well not send me messages. Go on and take care of your busy matters. However, in the end, he still didn't express his inner thoughts. I sent it out but curiously asked. Last time, I was so angry because of you. I didn't even have a chance to ask. Chu Yang, you disappeared without a word for 3 years. Don't you think you owe me an explanation? But after thinking it through, I realized that asking like this seems a bit too hasty, doesn't it? So I continued. Back to the point. If you think it's unnecessary to explain to me, that's fine. After all, we don't really have anything between us. That damn Chu Yang disappeared for 3 years without a word. This beautiful girl can still message you well now. You've really got some luck there. You better give me a good explanation. The reason you left without a word 3 years ago. After hesitating for a moment, I returned to Qingxue. Can we not talk about this? Lin Qingxue was so angry she wanted to smash the bed. But she still calmed herself down. Quickly replied, oh, okay. Let's leave it at that then. I'm going to sleep now. After seeing this message, I hurriedly asked if you were angry. Lin Qingxue let out a self-deprecating laugh. Isn't this wooden block beyond saving? He continued without responding. I wouldn't dare to get mad at you, Chu the blind man. If you get angry again, if you disappear without a word again like 3 years ago, what should I do? I was taken aback and hurriedly replied, I won't do it again, I won't. 3 years ago, it was indeed for a reason. But I promise, I will never disappear without a word again. I'm not anyone special to you. You don't have to tell me this specifically. I typed back, aren't we good friends? Lin Qingxue instantly replied, just friends. Can it be something else? It can't be, Lin Qingxue pouted angrily. After quickly finishing the message. Helplessly, she rubbed her forehead, no saving this, no saving this. This person is truly beyond saving. I've made my point so clear. Doesn't he understand what I mean? After letting out a sigh, Lin Qingxue hurriedly typed back, forget it. I want to sleep now. You should rest early, good friend. Then you should go to sleep. Good night, Lin Qingxue, let's go back to sleep. For the next few days, the two of them were like this. They chatted casually. I sent a good morning message. Lin Qingxue replied with a good morning. Lin Qingxue sent a good night, and I replied with a good night. Other than that, there was no further communication. However, every time I saw Lin Qingxue send a message come through, it was a rare moment of relaxation in my busy research work. A rare moment of relaxation. 10 days later, the military training at Kyoto University was also nearing its end. The base was enveloped in a round of enthusiastic applause. 10 days, in these 10 days, they had been immersed in the research base day and night, just to establish this model before them. As long as this model could operate successfully, it would mean that Chu Yang's theory was valid. Then today would be an epic-making day. Countless people began to murmur in discussion. In my lifetime, I can't believe I'm witnessing this. The possibility of region-driven realization. It's truly unbelievable. If the model can run completely, it would definitely be a major advancement in the field of power worldwide. This day will surely be recorded in history. However, during this period, Chief Engineer Chu has really worked hard. T's my first time seeing someone so dedicated to their work. Someone who works so hard in research. And as soon as those words were spoken, everyone present turned their gaze towards Chu Yang. If we say that 10 days ago, Chu Yang relies on, I was impressed by his theoretical knowledge, and it captivated everyone present. So now, it's all thanks to Chu Yang's strong charisma in research. I smiled at everyone and told them not to rush to praise me. Let's get ready for the first ignition experiment. Yi Jiangwo looked at me with concern. Chu Yang, do you want to take a day off? Let's do the ignition experiment tomorrow instead. I shook my head and smiled, saying there's no need. I can still hold on. Let's go straight into the ignition experiment. Yi Jiangwo also knew he couldn't outmaneuver Chu Yang. After letting out a sigh of amazement, he quietly stepped aside. Soon, some researchers brought over a red ignition button. Chief designer, why don't you ignite it? I took a deep breath, and was about to press the button, when I suddenly turned to look at Yi Jiangwo beside me. Dean Yi, why don't you do it? I felt a bit nervous. Go to Yi Jiangwo. Waved his hand dismissively. Are you really queuing up to argue words with me? You're the chief designer. Then you should press it. I smiled and pressed it. Go ahead, everyone is already eager. I nodded. Then, I solemnly pressed the button in my hand. Everyone's breath held in anticipation. Immediately, the filter drive device. The model immediately started to operate. Powerful electrical energy was infused into it. Throughout the research base, flashes of red light began to illuminate the area. A continuous sound began to resonate in everyone's ears. Ignition successful. Starting the warp engine bay. Warp engine bay startup successful. Negative energy generation has been preheated. Laser launch detected negative energy presence. Executing high energy rapid particle collection procedure. Warp field established successfully. Current detection speed level 0.1. Preparation for experiment object deployment. Accompanied by the final countdown ending. A spherical object weighing 100 pounds was directly deployed from midair into the warp field. The iron ball that should fall vertically. At the moment of entering the warp field, it flew directly towards the front. Finally landed heavily on a spot 100 meters away. The enormous iron gate. Upon seeing this scene, the star that everyone had been anxious about finally landed slowly. Inside the entire base, a wave of jubilant sounds erupted. We succeeded. The warp drive is feasible. Countless people embraced each other, overwhelmed with joy. In the next 5 years, at most 10 years, Huaxia will definitely be able to bring the real curvature drive device to the world's grand stage. A tear in Yi Jiangwo's eyes for Huaxia's brilliance. He has dealt with engines his whole life. Watching Huaxia's battles from the very beginning, the arduous journey of engine technology from nothing to something, he has almost gone through all the hardships involved. He hopes more than anyone for Huaxia to stand in the aerospace field, to stand in the world, and today he sees. After the excitement, I slowly bowed slightly to the crowd. Chu Yang. Right here. Thank you all for your understanding. The rest of the journey will be hard for you all. However, after lowering my head slightly, I just feel my head getting heavier and heavier. A sudden sense of foreboding crossed my mind. My body has been overexerted during this time. I can't hold on anymore physically. My body instinctively began to sway slightly. Chu Yang, what's wrong with you? Yi Jiangwo was the first to notice Chu Yang's physical condition, because since this morning, he felt that Chu Yang's mental state was off. However, because the regional drive device model, the mouth is about to be assembled, he was holding on to a bit of spirit. Now that the model test is over, the breath that Chu Yang was holding has dissipated. I let out a bitter smile. This physical condition is still not good. After only 10 days, and my mental state is like this. Probably aware of my current situation. It's just that I'm physically drained. Just don't know how many days I'll be unconscious. I hope I won't be unconscious for too long. Otherwise, Lin Qingxue will be worried again. Then I used the last bit of my strength to give Yi Jiangwo a glance out of the corner of my eye. I'm sorry to trouble you all again. The next moment, I slowly closed my eyes. My body uncontrollably began to lean forward and topple over. Faintly heard. Yi Jiangwo shouted loudly to everyone inside and outside to hurry. Hurry, someone, take him to the military hospital in Mo Bay immediately. Over the skies of Kyoto University, 4 of China's most advanced fighter jets roared past. And in the center of these 4 fighter jets, there was also an armed transport plane flying smoothly. The students, who were on break, all looked up towards the blue sky. Their expressions slightly changed. What the hell? 4 fighter jets providing escort. What about the transport plane in the middle? Who are the people sitting on it? Are they transporting some critical supplies? Even the fighter jets have been deployed. What big event is happening? Some students even started taking photos with their phones. The military training instructor, who was originally quite friendly, he instantly stood up. Everyone put down their phones. No photography allowed. Delete all the photos taken immediately. Accompanied by the rising and falling shouts of reprimands. The voice of the chief instructor also came through the broadcast. Everyone's break time is over. Put down the phones in your hands. Break is over. Although we don't know at the moment why so many fighter jets up there and transport planes are being deployed at the same time, but something major has definitely occurred. And in other areas of Kyoto, it's just that no one managed to capture this scene. However, what's surprising is, either the videos in their hands couldn't be sent out at all, or after being sent out, in less than a minute, they were all deleted. Lin Qingxue looked up. He glanced at the fighter jets howling overhead. Not sure why, he suddenly felt a tightness in his heart. Li Qian next to him quickly noticed something was off. What's wrong with Qingxue? Her face looks a bit pale. It's nothing, just feeling a bit unwell all of a sudden. Lin Qingxue weakly shook her head. Then she forced a smile to reassure Li Qian, saying it's fine. I just need a short break. His gaze passed by, but he fixed his eyes tightly on the sky. The fighter jets soared quickly across the sky. 3 days later, in the special care unit of the Kyoto Military Hospital, after Chu Yang was sent to the main hospital in Kyoto, the higher-ups directly ordered the following. They basically summoned all the top experts in the main hospital. They all were called over. They collectively examined and consulted on Chu Yang. It left all of them feeling anxious. Until it was officially confirmed that Chu Yang was just overly fatigued. He needed a break afterwards. Only then did everyone breathe a sigh of relief. On the playground of Kyoto University, Li Qian asked Lin Qingxue beside her. Do you want to have some milk tea? Not really, Lin Qingxue said, somewhat absent-minded. I'm feeling down. I don't want to eat anything. What's wrong with you? Li Qian asked curiously. You've been absent-minded for the past 3 days. What's going on? After coming to my senses, Li Qian began to laugh and ask. It's not because of Wang Xiujie, is it? I've heard about it. He plans to confess to you at the welcome party tonight. You're not worried about that, are you? That's not the main reason. Lin Qingxue sighed. Since 3 days ago, after Chu Yang sent him a good morning message, it was as if he had evaporated from existence. She sent many messages continuously. Not a single message received a response. It was as if Chu Yang had disappeared again. Kyoto Army General Hospital. While 2 old academicians were bickering, I lay in bed, my fingers moving slightly, shook a little. Then I slightly opened my eyes. I glanced at Yi Jiangwo beside me with my peripheral vision. And Wang Weiming. Weakly, I said, where is my phone? Where is my phone? Xiao Chu, you're awake. Yi Jiangwo instantly got up from. He stood up from the sofa in the ward. Overjoyed, he rushed to Chu Yang's side. Then I shouted loudly towards the hallway, calling for the doctor. Doctor, come quickly. The patient is awake. I glanced at the 2 excited individuals. Didn't I just take a nap? It shouldn't be this exciting after waking up, right? Immediately, I repeated it again. Which of you 2 has time? Could you help me bring my phone over? By the way, let me ask you. How long was I out this time? 3 days, Ye Jiangwo nodded repeatedly. He walked over to the table where Chu Yang's personal items were placed. After finding the phone, he immediately handed the phone to Chu Yang. I took it and quickly unlocked the screen. A series of messages instantly popped up in front of me. It was a long string of messages from Lin Qingxue saying good night. Did you not sleep all night last night? Where are you, Chu Yang? Are you planning to go missing again? Still not replying to messages? Chu Yang, I'm giving you another half an hour. If you don't reply to my messages soon, I won't pay any attention to you anymore. Chu Yang, you bastard. I'll give you one last chance to reply to me. Chu Yang, where on earth have you gone? Chu Yang, I hate you.